So, hello, this is my third CAS interview. So, my initial goals for the CAS both project and experience was to develop my physical abilities to contribute towards a better society by finding ways in which where I can benefit myself while also like helping others in and maybe somehow serving the community. And also, it was very important for me to develop my skills in human communication, in photography, videography, swimming. So really, I wanted to have a very many-sided development in both physical terms and my soft skills, and just generally growing and using CAS for my own benefit in order to enrich my experiences and make myself a little bit more experienced, a little bit more positive, and more capable and ready for handling real life challenges. And also, so another one is gaining valuable life experiences and to make something interesting, enjoyable, and insightful. So, not that I would only complete the CAS, but it would also be super enjoyable for me to do so. So, throughout the CAS, so for these 2 years of completing CAS experience and CAS project, I have achieved a lot of things, and all of the initial goals that I have been talking about were achieved, and not only just achieved, but they were their achievement like just was so successful that it even and I couldn't even imagine that I could have I could complete so much within these 2 years of completing CAS. So here specifically, if we would consider the highlights, I would say that it will be volunteering at high-profile events. So for example, throughout my CAS, I was volunteering at concerts of super famous people like Dimash Kudaibergen, who is widely recognized among the Kazakh community and also internationally. Timati, which is a Russian rapper who has also a very wide community and is very, very popular. I was volunteering at Run for Autism, so I had the experience of working with kids with autism and just also contributing towards helping them to have a better life here in Kazakhstan. I traveled a lot of places and I took photos there. So really, just I consider that a lot of masterpieces that have been taken throughout the CAS, and of course, it is the improvement in my physical capabilities, because throughout these years I have been running marathons, I have been swimming and significantly improving my swimming skills and generally my physical capabilities together with CAS. So while it was successful, a lot of challenges were still present that I have successfully overcome, and so some of them are here. So the first one is service challenges, because uncertainty at events and quick adaptation to unfamiliar situations. Because for example, at Dimash's concert, once we were in the concert hall where the concert took place, we didn't know much in terms of the concert's information than the allocation of seats within the concert itself. So we needed to quickly adapt and quickly learn all of that information in order to help other people and manage the crowds. So extreme weather conditions, because one of the most this was one of the most outstanding CAS experiences I've ever had, because I was volunteering at a Champions League match. It was the match between Kairat and Olympiacos, and this was historically called the coldest match in history of Champions League, because during that time outside temperature was over minus 40 degrees Celsius, and during this time we had volunteered and we were checking the tickets and standing outside, so it was super freezing. And this is more of a physical challenge about our resilience and just general physical capabilities, because we needed to stand and check the tickets, which was really hard under these conditions. But nevertheless, we have pulled it through and successfully overcame it. And also crowd management. So Timothy is a very popular Russian rapper, and he's widely recognized in Kazakhstan, and that is why a lot of people wanted to visit this concert. So during the concert itself, there was high congestion during the concert, and when people were coming through the concert and leaving it in the end, and that is why crowd management was a significant challenge, because managing over 3,000 visitors was quite a challenge for us. Then activity challenges. So physical challenges related to endurance training for swimming, because endurance, it highly requires your both mental and physical resilience and psychological resistance, and generally it was really hard. In sometimes it was really hard to train under these extreme conditions. So changing training types, because our training sessions varied depending on month. So some months we were focusing on strength, some on speed, then agility, endurance, then and just generally other stuff. And we needed to quickly adapt towards the changes in the focus of the training sessions, which was also quite a challenge for me. Then creativity challenges, so technical mastery. So it was quite hard for me to figure out the perfect light, the perfect perspective and composition that would suit the best for a particular photo, because I needed to make sure that every photo was captured in the best way that it was even possible. So at times it was hard to retake the photos by 15 times or even sometimes even more, just to make sure that I am taking the best from the scene that I have right now. And patience and precision in creating lessons for a span, because when you are making educational material for people, it is your responsibility to have only the most accurate and best knowledge that you have, and that is why it is very important to always double check it and keep in mind and have a critical approach, which could also sometimes be very hard. And of course time management, because all of these activities needed to be made together with our school and academic workload, which also posed some challenges during the academic year. So coming to the skills I learned along the way, so CAS for me was super valuable in these terms, because I have learned a lot of skills, and I have divided the skills that I gained into the sections. So during my service, so CAS service, I improved my adaptability and problem solving skills, because during the volunteering with people with autism, I needed to quickly adapt to the environment I am around and I needed to quickly adjust the way my volunteer work should have been made in order to prioritize the friendly approach towards children with autism during that time. And problem solving, because during the crowd management in all of the high profile events that I was volunteering in, it was very important to make the crowd diffuse and solve the congestion problems as fast as possible, and we really needed some critical skill there. Then empathy and communication, of course, because communication with your peers during volunteering or communication with people with children with autism was also very important and insightful for me. So I really improved my soft power skills and empathy, and also resilience under pressure, because during volunteering at extreme weather conditions during minus 40 degrees, you really just develop your resilience towards cold and like your external environmental conditions. And activity skills, it is of course physical endurance and discipline, because with hard work in training, with hard work and training in during swimming and many runs in preparation for the marathons, you really, so discipline and physical endurance was really the key to making that all of that possible. And that is why it was very important in, yeah, it was very important. So then goal setting and consistency, because if you want to make significant progress in sports, you should always put a realistic goal, and you should always strive to achieve it, not because of motivation but because of consistent effort, which is a useful skill that I have learned in sports, but it is actually also a very valuable lesson and very valuable philosophy that is also applicable to academic workload and generally life. And resilience in nature, because hiking during my CAS activities was really helpful in understanding how training sessions within the pool and within like artificial human-made conditions can also be very different from the conditions that you may face during hiking in nature. And creativity skills, so once again, physical endurance and discipline, because photography, it requires consistent effort and small but consistent improvement. And also goal setting, because once you arrive towards a destination, you should really make yourself a goal of making these kind of photos. And this way it would be more easier for you to create something good, rather than just randomly taking your camera and shooting just random stuff. And resilience too, because yeah, it's very important to not give up even when some photos are not taken in the way that you would want them to. So that is why it is very important to stay focused and not be upset from maybe some photos that didn't go well, for example, and just this stuff. So I guess my most fulfilling CAS was photography, because the way that I felt while making these photos as part of the CAS activities was just very enlightening, because the feelings that you get from taking a very good photos are just indescribable, because it is both super fulfilling, it is very enjoyable, insightful, and you just and after taking a good photo, you just take time and just appreciate your camera, the way that you have approached a particular scene, in order just to cherish the moment. And I would say that photography was with the development of my photography skills, I have learned to appreciate the moment as it is, and photography was one of the ways in which I have expressed my appreciation of this moment, and in the form of showing through the prism of the camera how I appreciate and how I perceive the beauty of the moment itself. So that is why I would say that the most fulfilling CAS was photography, because I have enjoyed it a lot. It was super insightful and super fulfilling. Yes, and in terms of achieving all learning outcomes, I believe that I have achieved all of them, because in terms of identifying own strength and developing areas for growth, which is LO1, the strength is that I have significantly improved and my endurance in swimming. I have deduced that my adaptability skills at large events and at different scales is super good, and my creativity and photography and videography is just super cool, I guess, and I believe this to be one of my key strengths, because I have, once I approach and see a scene, I instantly create a vision that I can soon transform through and capture through the prism of my camera, which is one of the strengths that I have developed. But I also have my growth areas, because patience in repetitive service tasks like proofreading lessons or soil filtering can is just still needs to be developed, because in times it can quite get hard and really annoying in making the same, like a little bit monotonous work uh, again and again. And I just need to develop my patience here. Then also, I had some breaks during for swimming, and I need to rebuild my stamina after the breaks to once again to show my great show to bring back my great performance in swimming, and refining technical precision in app design, because sometimes my decisions in UI and UX design, which took place during my development of the Aspan app, and it was there, which is part of my CAS project, and there I could have I have identified that I have some area for growth in terms of developing technical solutions. Then, demonstrating the challenges have been undertaking, developing new skills in the process. So, extreme cold while volunteering at the Champions League, uncertainty at Dimash's concert, and physical strain in long distance swimming, they were all challenges that I have faced and hopefully successfully overcame. And this had also had its own implication, because each challenge led to new skills. So, like resilience, crowd management, and structured training discipline, this was all the product of the challenges that have been undertaken. So, demonstrate how to initiate and plan a CAS experience. So, planned videography projects, which is the election campaign ads and Aspan promotional videos, by organizing equipment, locations, and scripts. And I have also initiated app development, coordinating design, bug fixes, and privacy compliances, lesson creations, and overall app development in itself showed how I initiated a CAS experience through my CAS project. Then show commitment to and perseverance in CAS experiences. So I guess here swimming is one of the most of the best examples here, because I was swimming consistently for over 2 years during my CAS experiences, and I was training endurance, sprint, and technique sessions, which showed my perseverance. Then volunteering at multiple concerts and events despite stress or cold demonstrated my long-term commitment towards helping people and making my community a little bit better. And photography projects also required patience and persistence to capture the right lighting and composition, which, as I said earlier, really required a lot of different trials and some patience. So demonstrate the skills and recognize the benefits of working collaboratively. So because during concerts, I worked with other volunteers to manage crowds. I communicated with different people in order to manage these crowds and solve the congestion problems. And of course, I was helping people with the questions they had, and always tried to clarify and answer the questions that visitors had while I was volunteering. And in app development, I collaborated with teammates to design, proofread, and debug the applications. And this collaboration actually taught me efficiency, shared responsibility, and the value of diverse perspectives. Because when you work together, you work more effectively and efficiently, because you can accomplish the same amount of work in significantly less amount of time. And once you start to volunteer with different people in different events, you start to understand that a successful project consists of sharing the responsibility with others, and not just a leader taking his role in leadership, but also everyone being acknowledging that they are part of the responsibility. also share the responsibility because they are the part of the team, and this is very important in achieving like collaborative success. Then demonstrate engagement with issues of global significance. So cleaning litter in Borovoy connected to environmental sustainability, of course, because the problem of global pollution is really, really relevant, and unfortunately, it is relevant in any place on the world, even a place so beautiful as Borovoy, which was really my motivation to try to help our planet. And assisting people with disabilities at public events reflects inclusion and accessibility. Photography in different countries like Santorini, Greece, Switzerland, and China engage me with cultural diversity and global perspectives. And recognize and consider the ethics of choices and actions. So, proofreading educational lessons required ethical responsibility because mistakes could mislead learners, which is a significant ethical concern. App development demanded attention to privacy policies and user safety because you need, as a application developer, you should acknowledge that you are actively and actually helping people to learn, and it is important to keep their data theirs and not share it with others. And volunteering highlighted ethical choices in how to treat vulnerable groups with dignity and respect, of course. Yeah. So this is it for the presentation, and now coming to the questions. What did you most enjoy about CAS, and what would you do differently? So, as I said earlier, my most enjoyable and most fulfilling CAS experience was, of course, photography, because I enjoyed this CAS experiences the most, as I found photography to be one of the ways to show my appreciation of the moment, which is, I guess, really valuable. So how do you already apply what you have learned from CAS in your daily life? I guess I have really started to value the importance of sports and physical activities in daily lives, and even after CAS experience, I will hopefully continue to take sports seriously and have an active lifestyle. Also, I always apply my soft skills that I have developed from CAS experiences in my daily life, because now I know how to work with other volunteers. I know how to work with team managers at high-profile events. I know how organization of different kind of events and both high-profile and low-profile events occur, which I guess is very helpful for my just daily life, because now I know how to communicate properly and how to communicate effectively and work with others in successfully achieving goals that I want. So how can this continue as you make future choices? Yeah, of course, now with more developed soft power skills, I know that I can now lean more effectively and towards communication, and I know that I am now more skillful at communicating with other people, and I am more confident in my skills, and that is why now I am not as frustrated when I get into confusing situations with other people, because I know better ways to handle these situations. Looking ahead, have any new goals emanated from your CAS program? Yes, of course. I would specifically say that a lot of new goals have arisen in terms of my physical strength, because now, after the CAS experiences and after consistent work in swimming and running, I have developed my new goals that I will hopefully achieve in future, even after the completion of CAS. Specifically, running the marathons a little bit faster. So, for example, my goal of running the 10K marathon is under 50 minutes, and also achieving the sub 30 second freestyle swimming in swimming, freestyle 50-meter swimming. And also further development skill, further developing my skills in photography, because I will strive to I- improve my photography skills, because my CAS experiences have helped me to realize how good I can be at photography, and how I can use this skills in the future to cherish my moment, which of course will be super helpful in future, because now I have one more way to appreciate my living. What advice do you have for upcoming CAS students regarding making CAS enjoyable, sustained over time, and meaningful? I would say that a lot of things can be actually a part of CAS experience, and you just need to approach it a specific way, because at the beginning I wasn't sure if volunteering was really a CAS service, because what we really did was not as clear as CAS service. But after volunteering, I have understood that if you will think that volunteering is also kind of helping other people to figure out where they can sit, to in helping like disabled people to access the concert and enjoy a particular event as much as regular people do, is one of the best CAS services that you can have, and that is why volunteering is also one of the best CAS activities you CAS experiences that you can have. And also, I would recommend CAS students to not only consider CAS as something that you need to do, but as something that is challenging and engaging you in ways that you should overcome and develop. So you should be mindful in how you perceive the CAS, because if you perceive it as something that should just be done, I guess CAS can become something annoying and stressful. But if you approach it from a life perspective, that it is really just that it is exciting challenge that you should take, I guess this way CAS experience becomes much more engaging and enjoyable. For 5 years from now, what will you remember most about your CAS program? So, of course, I will remember my volunteering at high-profile events, because, first of all, these are high-profile events that I would be excited in visiting myself. But here I had a chance to work in it and contribute to a successful completion and successful, successfully running this project, which is why I would say that this will be one of the things that I will definitely remember. And also my swimming, because together alongside swimming and just beside developing my physical capabilities, I have also communicated with a lot of different people, and throughout the training sessions I have really enjoyed and gained a lot of positive emotions while communicating with other athletes. And also just simply this swimming in itself is also a very enjoyable type of sport that you really enjoy, and I would say that I would definitely remember this CAS experience. And of course photography, because I'm now sure that I believe that in the future I have the motivation to develop my photography skills, and I just know that this journey started from CAS experience, and I would definitely remember CAS experience as the starting point for my photography career, I guess. So, what could be improved about the way CAS is organized in the school? I would generally say that CAS is organized very effectively and comfortably for the students, and it's super student friendly in these terms, because it was really easy to fill the CAS in the CAS website. It was really easy to upload the videos and just show the CAS, show that you have successfully completed CAS experience. So I believe that CAS is generally organized pretty effectively in school, and I don't quite have enough idea. I don't quite have any real suggestions that would significantly help, because I believe that pretty much CAS is already organized very effectively in our school. What advice do you have for upcoming CAS students regarding making CAS enjoyable? Yeah. So I guess this is the end of the interview. Thank you very much for your attention and goodbye.